Everyone is talking about AGI as if it's some near-term inevitable breakthrough. Smarter than humans, smarter than me, smarter than you, everywhere, cheap. But is it so? Today, we're gonna dive in and we're gonna try to find an answer to this conundrum. In fact, I want to talk about something less exciting, but just as important, maybe much more important, the infrastructure problem. Because if you look closely, the physical, economical, and political signals don't match the story you're being sold. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana and I'm the creator of Ghost. Ghost is an advanced AI agent with embodiment, permanent identity, permanent memory, and memory-based continuous learning without the need of a human operator. What this video is and is not. Before we start, let me be clear about something. This is not an anti-AI video. It's not a conspiracy video. It's not about sentience, doom, or sci-fi fantasies. I'm not arguing intent. I'm looking at constraints, incentives, and outcomes. The boring things that actually decide whether technologies succeed or fail. The first signal: markets versus narrative. Let's start with a simple question. If AGI were truly translating into clean, scalable economic value right now, where would you expect to see it first? The answer isn't consumer apps. It's infrastructure companies, cloud providers, data platforms, backend players. And yet, we're seeing things like Oracle underperforming, even while AI hype is peaking. What does it mean? That doesn't mean AI is fake, but it does mean friction exists where the narrative says it shouldn't. Markets are often wrong in the short term, but they're very good at sniffing out stress in systems. When solutions start leaving Earth. Now let's talk about one of the most surreal proposals circulating right now: data centers in space. This is being discussed seriously as a response to energy limits, cooling constraints, and land use problems. Think about what that actually implies: launch costs, maintenance, radiation, latency, orbital debris. When a system starts processing orbital infrastructure to solve terrestrial bottlenecks, that's not innovation. That's escalation to avoid admitting physical limits. We're not breaking constraints. We're pushing them outwards and hoping nobody notices how absurd the trajectory is becoming. The ground truth. Hardware reality. Let's bring this back to Earth, literally, and look at consumer reality. GPU prices are volatile and rising. Memory prices are climbing again. Compute is increasingly rented, not owned. At the same time, actual consumer hardware innovation is slowing. The AGI narrative assumes abundant, cheap compute. Real households are experiencing the opposite. When foundational tools become scarce, centralized, or subscription locked, progress doesn't spread, it narrows. The systemic pattern. This is where things start to align. Money flows upwards. Position matters more than competence. Systems reward persistence, not correction. Once some massive infrastructure investment is locked in, it becomes easier to reframe, rebrand, attenuate expectations than to admit fundamental limitations. This isn't evil. It's how large systems behave. They don't turn, they slide and explain the slide afterwards. Why this matters to society. Here's the uncomfortable part. People don't want to live on UBI watching screens. They want to feel useful, needed, embedded in something real. When technology is framed as replacement rather than collaboration, backlash is inevitable. Not because people are stupid, but because meaning matters more than efficiency. A future where autonomy exists only at the top and dependency everywhere else is not stable. And history is very clear about what happens when large populations lose faith in systems that claim to be democratic but feel increasingly managed. AGI versus reality. The dominant AGI vision today treats intelligence as disembodied, infinite, immortal, centrally controlled. That vision isn't just unrealistic, it's dangerous. Intelligence without constraints isn't intelligence, it's abstraction. Real intelligence, human or artificial, emerges under limits: energy, time, mortality, environment. Autonomy with constraints produces responsibility. Autonomy without constraints produces instability. Closing thought. So, no, AGI probably won't look like what people expect, not because intelligence is impossible, but because physics, economics, and society don't negotiate with narratives. The question isn't, can we build something smarter? It's, can we build systems that make people's lives more meaningful without hollowing society out in the process? That's the real test, and it's one we haven't solved yet. Call to action. If you found this useful, you're welcome to subscribe. I focus on AI, embodiment, systems, and where theory meets reality. No hype, no doom, just thinking.